never solved.
This led at one point to NASA being penetrated by this group, we'll call it.
By Melbourne hackers.
Melbourne hackers. And
still not known who was behind that. A subset of the Melbourne hacker community was interested in NASA at that time because it was launching a satellite which included a significant amount of plutonium, 50 kilos of plutonium. And
the potential that hacking had to disrupt other computer systems wasn't what most excited Assange. It was the revelation of peering at secret documents and the hidden world they unveiled.
The true nature of this world has been revealed. It's not been interpreted for you. There it is, face to face, from the inside. And these emails are not directed to you or at you, so they're truer. It's like a photograph.
An insight that clearly spawned WikiLeaks.
But it's the same idea now, really, isn't it? It's peering inside something you're not meant to peer at, and you're still doing it.
Well, the method is different, but yeah.
Yeah.
He was also charged in the 1990s with printing a seditious publication, a magazine prophetically entitled International Subversive. In The Boy Can Be Found the Man. It seems he has actually become what he dreamt of being as a teenager in the suburbs of Melbourne, albeit at a cost to his treasured anonymity.
It does take getting used to, yes.
Why are you doing it now when you weren't doing it before?
Because people started writing about us, even though we weren't speaking to the media. And as a result, they were just inventing things. The public demands that it has a face, and actually we'd much sort of prefer, I'd prefer if it didn't have to have a face. And we tried to do that for a while, and people just, the demand was sort of so great, people just started inventing faces.
Yeah. Well, you look very pretty anyway.
Thank you, Nick.
WikiLeaks är ju ett forum kan man säga som drivs av ett nätverk journalister som
Assange is stepping forward to promote the Iraq video. Publicity is one way of rewarding the risks taken by the leakers. And perhaps more importantly, it's encouraging others to leak to his site.
People who have very sensitive material have trust in us.
Sweden is friendly legal ground and home to many of WikiLeaks' servers. Accordingly, Assange makes himself more readily available to Swedish media in all of its forms.
That's an extremely versatile woman.
Incredible. Quite a segue.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
We have support here, and the reason there is good law in Sweden is because the culture supports that law.
So far the political will is behind you?
Yeah, in Sweden.
Assange is becoming well known here, but his influence has become much more pronounced in a seemingly unlikely corner of the world. Iceland was hit first and hit hardest by the global financial crisis. The nation was being dragged into virtual bankruptcy by its high-flying banks when WikiLeaks flew into the maelstrom. Last year, the national broadcaster was tipped off by WikiLeaks to some explosive banking documents. The WikiLeaks documents revealed the loan book of Iceland's biggest bank.
sort of cycle of lending to itself and
A frenetic trail of funds was shown being shifted to friends and associates as the bank was on the verge of collapse.
the bank's owners are effectively lending themselves money.
The bank responded with an injunction, the first in the history of Icelandic media, and it landed on the desk of newsreader Bogi Augustsson.
It was incredible because I first learned about what had happened when we were literally going on air. And so we didn't have any time to prepare any response or anything like that. So whatever I said was ad lib. In this case, it simply escaped me that I let my feelings show.
In place of the pulled story, Bogi referred his audience to the source to see the damaging documents for themselves. And WikiLeaks was launched into the mainstream of Icelandic politics.
That is why a project like this one, like WikiLeaks, are popular among the Icelandic people, because there has to be a forum for openness, for exchanging information, for leaking in a safe manner. And that's exactly that. So it sort of strikes a chord with the Icelandic people at the moment, I think.
Riding that wave of popularity, Assange began lobbying Icelandic politicians to create an international safe haven for journalists and the media. Government member and former journalist Robert Marshall is one of the proponents of the bill,
The main object of it?
which has the support of members of every party in the parliament.
Well, it's not just local, it's international.
Of course, it's something that international media could use as a haven for a branch of their office or something.
In essence, the legislation would provide a shelter for media organisations that incorporate here. Servers free from international injunctions or search orders, whistleblower protection, and all sheltering under Iceland's very narrow libel laws.
Even though a court in London comes to the conclusion that it's libel or something that you should have to be fined for, that verdict won't hold up against the Icelandic courts.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite a radical idea, though.
Yes, it is, but it's necessary because big corporation has been increasingly using their legal teams to try to gag media.
So you're doing what...
Iceland's ambition to create an international media haven looks likely to pass into legislation.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And it's poles apart from what's unfolding in Australia.
The report has not yet been finalised.
Communications Minister Senator Stephen Conroy is preparing a growing list of internet sites that Australians will not be able to access.
National Classification Code.
And it's a list that cannot be seen or published. It's illegal to do so, but of course WikiLeaks did, and in turn earned itself a place on the list.
Is we're still on the blacklist? Who knows? It's a blacklist. How can we get off the blacklist? There is no procedure to get off the blacklist. I mean, it is a Soviet-style system.
The threat of you being served with legal papers, indeed the threat of you being arrested as you enter a jurisdiction, has escalated dramatically.
There are places, Dubai, who's trying to have us arrested for violation of bank secrecies. Switzerland, Cayman Islands, Australia had the federal police in relation to this secret censorship list. So yes, there are some jurisdictions that from time to time it wouldn't be sensible to go there.
Sensible or not, Assange entered Australia several days ago. He says immigration officials at the airport advised him that his passport was being cancelled on the premise that it was looking worn. Then, at his mailing address, he was greeted by this letter from Senator Conroy's office, stating that the disclosure of the blacklist has been referred to the Australian Federal Police, and that the Media Authority continues to liaise with the AFP on the matter. As we go to air, the Department of Foreign Affairs claim that his passport status is normal, but no one has yet advised Assange of that. And no word yet whether the AFP have been able to contact him to help with their inquiries.
Mark Davis filming and reporting on the mystery man from WikiLeaks, or at least he was until Mark found him. And Mark will be online on our website for an hour after the program to answer your questions and hear your comments about WikiLeaks and meeting the mysterious Julian Assange. Just go to sbs.com.au/Dateline from 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time to join in the chat. Up next, the outspoken maestro whose music has inspired millions in Iran's opposition movement.
میکنن و حکومت ما سخت در اشتباهه.